Hello everyone, and welcome back to another gripping journey on our channel. Today, we venture beyond the glitz and glamour of fame, stepping into the hidden corners where some of the most well-known figures have traded the spotlight for the shadows of prison walls. Here, there are no grand stages or roaring applause, only cold cells and the weight of past mistakes. Under the dim glow of flickering lights, their lives unfold like tragic performances, filled with crime, downfall, and regret, stories that leave a lasting impact and provoke deep reflection. Joe Son, best known for his minor role in the first Austin Powers film, became infamous for his involvement in heinous criminal acts. His life spiraled into darkness, marred by convictions for torture, sexual assault, and voluntary manslaughter. In 2011, he was found guilty of torturing and assaulting a victim in Huntington Beach. His crimes escalated further when he was later convicted of voluntary manslaughter for the brutal killing of his cellmate, Michael Graham, while serving his sentence in prison. Joe Son's criminal history traces back to 1990, when he was involved in a horrific kidnapping, sexual assault, and threats against a woman on Christmas Eve. For years, he evaded justice, but DNA evidence later linked him to the crime following a felony vandalism conviction. Despite his brief presence in Hollywood, his violent actions far outweighed any recognition he gained as an actor. His predatory behavior ultimately led to imprisonment and even the loss of life. Joe Son's downfall stands as a stark reminder of the far-reaching and devastating consequences of crime, underscoring its lasting impact on both victims and society. Kylan Rash Walker exemplifies the abuse of power and trust in the online world. His actions not only broke the law, but also exploited the trust and vulnerability of his victims. Prosecutors revealed Walker's predatory behavior, using social media to sexually assault numerous women and young girls, underscoring the dangers of online platforms and their susceptibility to manipulation. Walker's disregard for the pain he caused only compounds the seriousness of his actions. Walker's 50-year prison sentence marks a significant step in holding sexual offenders accountable and ensuring justice is served. However, it also underscores the ongoing need for discussions on victim protection and legal system reforms. His case stands as a powerful warning to society and the justice system alike, emphasizing the urgency of safeguarding vulnerable individuals while reinforcing the necessity of holding perpetrators fully accountable for their actions. Zara Fithian, 39 years old, and her husband, Victor Mark, 59 years old, recently endured a tense trial at Nottingham Crown Court in the UK, where they were convicted of a total of 14 counts related to sexual abuse. The couple's abusive behavior began when the victim was still a minor and lasted from 2005 to 2008. The BBC revealed that the police investigation was based on the testimony of a victim identified only as A, who recounted in detail the brutal acts Fithian and Mark carried out on her when she was a teenager. The victim stated that she knew it was wrong but didn't know how to escape or what to say. The victim also alleged that Mark threatened to harm her if she revealed anything. In addition, Victor Mark is facing 4 other charges after another woman accused him of sexually abusing her between 2002 and 2003, when she was under 18 years old. Parander Dillon, senior investigation officer, expressed gratitude for the courage of the two victims and hoped that the sentencing would bring them comfort, while emphasizing that this case would serve as a valuable lesson for others. Adidja Palmer, better known by his stage name Vybz Kartel, is a famous reggae and dancehall artist from Jamaica, once recognized globally. However, his life took a dark turn when a man named Clive "Lizard" Williams allegedly stole a firearm from him. In retaliation, Kartel was said to have planned Williams's death. Unlike another musician we will discuss later in this video, who ended up in prison after mistakenly targeting an innocent homeless man, Kartel faced his own legal troubles. On December 29, 2011, authorities arrested Kartel and charged him with offenses related to drug possession and illegal firearms. Although he was granted bail for these charges, he remained in custody in connection with Williams's murder. Kartel's trial faced numerous delays, including a 3-year postponement due to issues with jury selection. Finally, on November 18, 2013, a jury of 11 members found him guilty after a 65-day trial, believed to be the longest in Jamaican history. As a result, Kartel was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after serving 32 years and 6 months. This means he could be eligible for release in 2046, in case you were wondering about the timeline. As for R. Kelly, Robert, he has faced legal issues since the 1990s but was only indicted in 2021. In the early 2000s, he was one of the most popular R&B artists, but today he is serving a prison sentence for human trafficking and sexual abuse. Signs of trouble with R. Kelly began to appear in 1994 when he was accused of convincing singer Aaliyah to falsify her birth certificate so they could marry. Disturbing incidents continued to surface in the years that followed, including accusations that he injured a woman in 1996. In 2002, alarming videos of R. Kelly's indecent behavior with minors became widespread, and a camera of his containing inappropriate photos was confiscated. Despite this evidence, the charges were later dropped due to insufficient proof. However, the problem didn't stop there. R. Kelly was accused of holding multiple women hostage in a dangerous gang, and as this news spread, many women came forward to accuse him of abuse. As a result, R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison in June 2022. Toby Willis is a shocking truth behind the once-beloved TLC show featuring the Willis clan, a musical family led by Toby Willis and his 12 children who once captivated audiences with their talent. Their journey took them to the quarterfinals of America's Got Talent in 2014, receiving much praise and admiration from viewers across the country. But few knew the dark truth behind the Willis family, a secret that threatened to shatter their entire image. Behind the warm and loving exterior of the family was a horrifying truth. Toby Willis was actually an unlawful sexual predator, preying on 4 girls, including his 3 daughters and a relative, while they were under the age of 18. This bitter truth was revealed in 2016 when a brave victim broke her silence and reported the abuse to the authorities. Toby Willis was arrested, and even more horrifying details came to light. In 2017, he pleaded guilty to 4 counts of sexual abuse of a person under 18, forever tarnishing the image he had presented to the world. He was subsequently sentenced to 40 years in prison without the possibility of parole and was ordered to pay a staggering $1.4 million to his victims. Additionally, he was forced to register as a sex offender for life. The impact of his heinous crimes rippled throughout his family. Bill Cosby, once celebrated as America's dad for his role in The Cosby Show, faced a dramatic downfall. He became the first major celebrity of the Me Too movement to be sentenced to prison for his crimes. Judge Stephen O'Neill, presiding over the case at the Montgomery County Courthouse in Norristown, Pennsylvania, delivered the sentence with solemn determination, declaring that it was time for justice. Cosby, at age 81, had been found guilty earlier in the year of drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand at his suburban Philadelphia estate in 2004. The severity of his actions was significant. Cosby was taken into custody immediately, with the judge denying his request for bail while awaiting appeal, citing concerns about community safety and fearing that Cosby could pose a danger if released. Although Cosby showed little visible emotion when the sentence was delivered, reports later emerged suggesting that he appeared relaxed, smiling, chatting, and interacting with his defense team. Despite having the opportunity to speak before the sentencing, Cosby chose to remain silent. However, the echoes of his crimes continue to reverberate through the halls of justice, serving as a stark reminder that fame and fortune do not shield anyone from legal responsibility. Before Young Thug released hits like Pick Up the Phone and Lifestyle, he was allegedly involved in several gang-related crimes. On May 9, 2022, the rapper was arrested on charges related to conspiracy and gang activity, dating back to 2013. There are 56 different charges against him, many of which are very serious. One charge links him to the rental of an Infiniti Q50 sedan used in the murder of a rival gang member, Donovan Thomas Jr. In addition to the conspiracy and gang-related charges, Young Thug also faced additional charges after the police raided his home. He was charged with possession of controlled substances with intent to sell. Moreover, the police found several dangerous weapons in his house, including sawed-off shotguns and rifles. More gang-related charges were added to his record. Young Thug is associated with the YSL Street Gang, and 27 other members of the gang are also facing criminal charges. He is currently being held in custody awaiting trial, which is set for January 9, 2023. If convicted, he could face up to 20 years in prison. Austin Jones gained fame with his singing videos on YouTube, including covers and original songs, attracting over 500,000 subscribers and millions of views. However, in 2015, Jones canceled his upcoming Vans Warped tour and released a YouTube video acknowledging the allegations and expressing remorse. On June 9, 2017, authorities searched Jones's house with a warrant issued by a U.S. magistrate judge. That same day, Jones was arrested at O'Hare International Airport. He was later sentenced to 10 years in federal prison on May 3, 2019. Shockingly, during the investigation, it was discovered that several other individuals had also attempted to cover up his wrongdoing. As a result, his YouTube channel disappeared. Danny Masterson's journey encapsulates the classic story of ups and downs, a tale of triumphs overshadowed by chaos. Born in Long Island, New York, in 1976, Masterson rose to fame playing Stephen Hyde in the beloved television series That 70s Show, captivating audiences with his mysterious role. However, his career took an abrupt turn in the mid-2010s when disturbing allegations of sexual assault emerged, tarnishing his once bright career. The major shock came in June 2020, when Masterson faced 3 counts of sexual assault. The public legal battle, along with the legal proceedings, cast a shadow over both his personal and professional life. The fallout was rapid, as his talent agency quickly severed ties with him, boycotting him from the industry that had once welcomed him warmly. As of 2023, at age 47, Masterson remains stuck in legal limbo, with a cloud of uncertainty hanging over his head. Public attention continues to focus on his case, highlighting the deep complexities of fame, power, and accountability in the entertainment industry. With every development closely scrutinized, the outcome of the case is sure to shape the course of Masterson's future, profoundly affecting his career and personal legacy. Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced film producer whose predatory behavior fueled the Me Too movement, received an additional 16-year prison sentence in Los Angeles. On top of the 23-year term, he was already serving in New York for sexual abuse and assault. In December 2019, a Los Angeles jury found Weinstein guilty of molesting and sexually assaulting a woman identified as Jane Doe 1. Her emotional testimony highlighted the lasting trauma she endured, emphasizing that no sentence could fully undo the damage. Throughout the trial, Weinstein's defense team resorted to misogyny, attacking the credibility of the accusers. They even stooped to insulting Jennifer Siebel Newsom, an actress and the wife of California Governor Gavin Newsom, by labeling her a bimbo in an attempt to undermine the Me Too movement. Although Weinstein pleaded for leniency, portraying himself as a frail 70-year-old in poor health and emphasizing his contributions to the industry, the court remained unmoved. His sentencing brought a sense of closure to his victims, while serving as a clear reminder of the entrenched issues of power, abuse, and misogyny within the entertainment industry and society at large. Anand Singleton became famous in the late 1990s under the stage name Big Lurch. His debut album was not well received, causing further difficulties after he was hit by a drunk driver, resulting in a broken neck. To cope with the pain from the accident and the frustration from his career failure, Big Lurch started using PCP. Unfortunately, he didn't just use PCP for pain relief, but became severely addicted. He stopped eating or drinking, continuing to use drugs, which led to hallucinations and a complete loss of touch with reality. Under the influence of this stimulant, he believed demons were living in his roommate's stomach. Singleton is not a small person. He stands 6 feet 7 inches, while his roommate was just a 21-year-old girl. She had no chance to defend herself when he attacked and caused her death. The drugs he used played a significant role in this horrifying case. When discovered after the brawl, he appeared like a madman, seemingly unaware of the horrifying act he had just committed. In November 2003, Big Lurch was sentenced to life in prison without parole due to the heinous nature of his crime. He was not allowed to plead insanity due to drug influence before the incident. Jim Gordon was a respected drummer in the realms of blues and rock music, known for his collaborations with Eric Clapton and Alice Cooper. However, amid the applause and fame, Gordon grappled with a silent torment: schizophrenia. Auditory hallucinations, including the voice of his mother, constantly haunted him. Despite his efforts to seek help, he was misdiagnosed with alcoholism, allowing his mental state to deteriorate further. Tragically, Gordon lost control under the grip of psychosis, with the voices urging him to commit a terrible act. In a moment of madness, he turned against his own mother, leading to a devastating outcome. Arrested in 1983, Gordon was correctly diagnosed with schizophrenia, shedding light on his anguish. Initially sentenced to 16 years in prison, his continued threat to society resulted in his extended incarceration. His story highlights the complexities of mental illness and the tragic consequences of untreated conditions. Despite his significant musical legacy, Gordon's life serves as a somber reminder of the silent struggles endured by many and the imperative need to understand and address mental health challenges. The murder case of C. Murder gained significant attention in 2003 when this retired rapper was arrested for killing a fan, 16-year-old student Stephen Thomas. Corey Miller, known by his stage name C. Murder, has consistently maintained his innocence since the incident. The case stemmed from a rap battle in 2002 when Thomas bumped into a member of C. Murder's group, leading to a frightening altercation that ended with Thomas being shot dead. Crucially, 2 witnesses came forward, testifying that they were coerced by the police to identify C. Murder as the perpetrator. Darnell Jordan, a security guard present at the crime scene, admitted that he was arrested and detained until he agreed to cooperate and testify against C. Murder. This case also attracted the attention of Kim Kardashian in 2020, who made efforts to expose the truth. However, despite her efforts, C. Murder remains imprisoned, serving a life sentence. The only way for him to be released is to provide strong enough evidence to prove his innocence and identify the true culprit of the crime that occurred on that fateful night. In downtown Los Angeles, Zach Avery, an actor struggling with big dreams but modest talent, found himself trapped in the relentless cycle of auditions and rejections. Frustrated and desperate for success, Zach hatched a bold plan. From 2014 to 2019, Zach transformed himself into a smooth-talking con artist, weaving grand tales to convince hundreds, including his loved ones, to invest in his fictitious movie rights scheme. With promises of lucrative deals with streaming giants like Netflix and HBO, Zach amassed a fortune by exploiting the trust of others. But behind the facade of success lay a dark truth. Zach's promises were nothing more than illusions. In reality, Zach was running a Ponzi scheme, using money from new investors to pay off old debts while continuing his deceit. Eventually, the law caught up with Zach, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, forced to face the consequences of his actions. He was also ordered to repay over $230 million to his victims. As Zach languished in prison, his downfall served as a stark reminder of the dangers of chasing dreams through dishonest means. His story echoed throughout Hollywood as a cautionary tale about the importance of integrity and honesty in the pursuit of success. Ryan Grantham, a 24-year-old actor famous for his roles in television and movies, shocked the world when he committed a heinous crime in 2020. Grantham pleaded guilty to second-degree murder of his mother, Barbara Waite, and was sentenced to life in prison, with no eligibility for parole for 14 years. According to CBC, during a June hearing in Vancouver, the court heard the horrifying details of the crime. Grantham fatally shot his 64-year-old mother in the back of the head while she was playing the piano on March 31, 2020. Even more disturbing, he recorded a video confession of the murder and hid her body. The shocking story doesn't end there. The day after the murder, Grantham loaded his car with 3 guns, ammunition, 12 Molotov cocktails, and camping gear with the intent to attack Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. However, he changed his mind and decided to turn himself in to Vancouver police. Presiding Judge Kathleen Kerr called Grantham's decision not to carry out the attack his saving grace. Psychiatric reports presented in court showed that Grantham had expressed a desire to harm himself along with feelings of self-hatred and guilt after killing his mother. According to CBC, the court concluded that Grantham had been battling depression for months before the murder. They determined that he killed his mother to prevent her from witnessing the violence he had planned. When Young Thug was arrested, it was revealed that 27 other individuals associated with the YSL gang were also implicated. One of these individuals is Sergio Kitchens, better known by his stage name Gunna. Although Gunna does not have as serious a criminal record as Young Thug, he was charged with conspiracy. It was alleged that he possessed drugs with intent to sell and received stolen property. After hearing about the charges, Gunna turned himself in. These legal troubles occurred while Gunna's career was at its peak and his music was gaining popularity. On June 14, 2022, Gunna posted a message on social media asserting his innocence and claiming that he had been wrongfully accused. All members associated with the YSL gang face charges of conspiracy and illegal activities. Gunna was denied bail and will remain in jail until his trial, which is expected to take place on January 9, 2023. Gunna believes that the nation's constitutional amendments failed to protect him as a citizen. Tay K, one of the youngest artists on this list, is currently serving a 55-year prison sentence. In 2017, Tay K was an emerging name in the hip-hop scene with his hit The Race climbing the Billboard Hot 100 chart, but things changed right on the day of the song's release. He was arrested by police after 3 months on the run. However, it turns out Tay K was involved in serious cases. In 2016, he participated in a home invasion that left a young man named Ethan Walker dead. The initial plan was to rob a drug dealer and his friends. Tay K was placed under house arrest for these crimes, but that wasn't his style. He cut off his ankle monitor and fled, even boasting about it on Twitter, daring the police to catch him. While on the run, things got worse when Tay K became involved in a fatal robbery outside a Chick-fil-A in Texas, resulting in a man's death. Not only that, he also attacked and robbed a 65-year-old resident, who later identified him to the police. Since 2017, Tay K has been in custody and is facing at least 27.5 years in prison before he will be considered for parole. Thank you all for watching my video. There are many more exciting things in the upcoming videos, so please stay tuned. Thank you and goodbye.